All right, welcome back. We begin this segment with our Tri-State Office Furniture Tweet of the Day. And it comes from Nick Alberga, who says Brian Rust might win the Rocket Richard. Well, he is a long way to go. He's missed a lot of time, but he's got 9 goals in 15 games. Rodriguez has 15 goals now, 30-plus points, and Gensel just goes right along with 18 goals. And sadly, not a lot of people saw it tonight, which, Andrew, leads me to our first caller. I want to get right to him. It's Bill and McKeesport, who I think has a gripe. Hey, Bill.
Hi, Bill.
Bill.
Bill?
Well, Bill, what, did you fall asleep on us? All right, well, anyway, it said there, Andrew, he wanted to talk about ESPN+. I don't know how you feel about what ESPN is doing in that they're putting everything basically on streaming services. I understand what their intention is, but I don't think it's good for the game right now for a lot of hardcore fans who may not be willing to pay the price or able to pay the price. And it's a different kind of consumption by the consumer. I don't know. I get frustrated with it myself because I was watching tonight and the Hulu streamed was terrible. And it's, to me, a difficult thing.
What was so bad about it? It kept buffering? You didn't have a good bandwidth?
It just was not. It was going in and out, couldn't see. It was disturbing to me. So, and I don't know if this is a one-time thing. My point is the NBA is on every single night on ESPN. You'd think they'd make some room for national television of a big game like Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, instead of putting on a streaming service.
Well, the problem, as I see it, is not so much that they've pushed a lot of content to digital, which a lot of people have cut the cord and have gone just strictly off apps. It's the fact that they make the game exclusive to that. Like tonight on ESPN, they did have a hockey game. It was the Minnesota Wild and the Boston Bruins. And then they put the Penguins game on Plus. But the problem with that is when they do it, it's unavailable locally. So hockey fans in Pittsburgh lose out. People that pay a lot of money for cable because they want AT&T Sportsnet, for example, to get the Penguins, Bob. And this game, one against the Flyers, isn't on there because of the deal that the NHL cuts with ESPN. So that, to me, is the problem. If the game was on Plus, but it was also on AT&T, we wouldn't be complaining about it right now. It's just when they get stuck there, and that's the only. It's like Pitt with the ACC network, right? I mean, it's the same deal. When you make it exclusive to a channel that is either hard to find or it's exclusively online, digital.
All right, I'm going to go out to Squirrel Hill, and I'm wondering, Pete from Squirrel Hill, I haven't heard from him. I hope you're doing okay, Pete, and if so, please call. Instead, we have Rick in Squirrel Hill joining us right now. Hey, Rick.
Oh, okay. Hi, Rick.
Hi, Bob and Andrew. How are you?
We're good, thank you.
Hey.
Hey, I always liked Casey DeSmith as a backup, but now I think they have to replace him. I think once he gives up that first goal, it seems like he gives up a bunch. And the other couple things I'm worried about is I'm worried when Malkin comes back. I think he's undisciplined. He gets goaded into penalties. He gives the puck away. And the other thing I worry about, I heard that once he does come back, they have to clear cap room. And believe it or not, I heard they may have to trade Rust, which would be crazy. And I agree that the ESPN Plus, I'm not giving in to it. I just won't get it. I'll listen on the radio, if I have to. So if you can answer that, I'd appreciate it.
Sure. All right, Andrew, a lot of interesting notes you brought up there. Go ahead.
Well, I'm okay with Malkin when you put him back in the lineup, okay, and you're trying to figure out where does he fit in, where do you play Carter. I'd like to put the centers right down the middle with Sid, Malkin, Carter, Bluger. And even though I think, you might not have instant success, maybe it does take Malkin some time, the focus or discipline, the legs aren't there yet. I mean, it's going to break up their lineup and it's going to affect their chemistry. But I would rather take the dent and take the ding now than once you get closer to the playoffs. So it might be a situation where you take a step backwards to take 2 steps forwards. As far as the cap goes, they're not going to make a big deal like that. It's not that punitive to bring them back. And I am open to the bringing in another goalie idea because we saw last year, Bob, you need a plan B. I mean, unless you've got Andrei Vasilevsky in net, an all-time great goaltender, or a Carey Price, what is your backup plan? And the Penguins right now really don't have one. DeSmith has really, I think, taken a big step back this season.
I'm not going to go that far, but I was a little surprised the other night when it was a 3-2 game and he was lifted in the third period. I really was. I realized in that game that some of those goals, especially the one over the glove, I mean, you could be critical of anything that goes in. I'm not going to go that far. As far as Malkin is concerned, I think Malkin brings the best out of Kapanen. I think that's something that will trigger Kasperi Kapanen, who's been very erratic this year. The question then becomes, what do you do with Rodriguez? And to me, I would love to see him on the top line, but I don't think Crosby, Crosby is one of those guys who likes what he has. He has Gensel, he has Rust. You could put Rodriguez on that second line, which I think would be fine. But one thing is certain for me, he has to play on the power play, Rodriguez, and he has to be on the left wall because he does it well. He's not afraid to shoot. And I figure out, I know you're going to say, who do you take off? That's a tough question. It's a nice problem to have.
I know. I think they're going to go with a resume. I think he will get bumped. I think he'll get the short end of the stick in this whole deal. Bob, I just think this about DeSmith. You might not think he's regressed as badly as I have, but let's say Jari struggles in a game one like he did last year. You feel confident or comfortable going to DeSmith?
No,
I
I'd
don't
stick
right
with
now.
Jari. I just would.
Well, so it's the same dilemma as last year. You don't have a Murray-Fleury situation, an embarrassment of riches. I mean, even Montreal, Allen, the backup, was an accomplished guy. He had been through the playoffs before with the Blues. If they're going to make a deal, to me, a backup goalie does not affect your overall team chemistry the way that making 3 or 4 trades and trying to get forwards and defensemen into your lineup. I think that might be their best bet for Ron Hextall come the deadline.
All right, let's go out to Dan, I believe it is, on line 1. Hey, Dan, how are you doing?
Put your glasses on, Bob. You had to lean in for that one.
I had to lean in for that one. Yes, I did. Thank you very much, Andrew. Dan, what's up?
Hey, Bob, how are you?
I'm good.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, I was just wondering, Jacksonville, do you think they're going to lay down and just take a draft pick?
Because they want the number 1 pick.
Play this game?
I think they'll play. I don't think they're good enough even if they stand up to win the way they've gone, although they did beat the Bills in Jacksonville. So Indy has had problems down there for some reason, but I don't think this is going to be the one. I know the FanDuel Sportsbook says it's like a 16-point spread. I love points. I'll take points, but I don't expect them to win.
No, me neither. I know it's been that 2014 is the last one, Bob, but I watched Jacksonville give up 50 last week to New England. I just think that the Colts are going to pound it with Jonathan Taylor, and I don't see Jacksonville stopping one of the best offensive players in the entire NFL right now. So this is what happens when you or you tie Detroit. You get to a situation like this where you're depending on teams that, frankly, are ready for the offseason.
Yeah.
And that's the Jacksonville Jaguars right now.
And it's funny, when you watch Baltimore, which has a less of a chance percentage-wise than the Steelers, I think at 2%, yep. It's amazing what's happened with them because back in Week 12, they were 8-3. They were the number 1 seed in the AFC, and all of a sudden, 5 straight losses, all of which, by the way, as you take a look at this graphic here for those of you on TV, they had a 91% chance of making the playoffs in Week 12. Now it's down to 2, and they haven't lost in any kind of lopsided fashion, Andrew. Every one of these games that they've lost has been close, and they've decided to twice go for 2-point conversions.
Maybe they can hang a banner in Baltimore at the end of the year that says, most aggressive team. They can do something to give themselves credit for all those 2-point blunders that they had. They got them so much credit. Oh, it shows that they're going for it. They've got guts. They've got cojones. Well, what's it get you at the end of the day, Bob? It gets you on the couch with Baker Mayfield and possibly the Steelers watching the playoffs. They're not going anywhere. They're out just like everybody else.
Right, exactly. We've got to take a break here. When we come back, more calls on the way at 412-575-2600. You're watching the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. You're also listening to it on 93.7 The Fan.